Welcome to Cordially Invited.
My name is Tommie Earl Jenkins.
I am your host, Lily Kay.
And I am an actor.
And it's my job to ensure each and every one of you are found worthy of that sacrifice.
A voice actor.
I would prefer not to experience that again.
Singer, creative, writer, all of the above.
I'll stay with you.
Doing whatever I can when I can.
Hi, Tommie. So nice to have you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
It's the best, honestly. Like, I've been looking forward to this very much so. We have a bit of a history, the two of us.
Ooh.
And it's a very good one. It's a very good one. It happened back, I think, in 2021. If I remember correctly, when Twitter was not a dumpster fire yet.
Okay.
Yep. And I shared a video where I talked about my experience about bullying. And you very, very kindly first answered me. You said, I see you and hear you. Keep on keeping on. That was the first. And then you retweeted, because it's also my drawing. And then you retweeted it and you said, bullying is not okay, period. This rhetoric is vile and disgusting and should not be tolerated from anyone. Art of Lily Kay, your artwork is sublime. And I hope you continue to draw, paint, sketch until your heart's content. We appreciate you and your talent. Thank you.
There you have it. And I all of that holds true.
Yeah.
All of that still holds true.
And I always...
Bullying is not acceptable.
It's not. It definitely isn't. And I wanted to thank you since that day. I mean, I think I did reply. I mean, obviously, right. But it's nice to have the chance now to say thank you.
Wow,
and
how wonderful to have this moment. Yes.
It's honestly like it helped a lot to see how many people have reacted to it. And then you also noticed it and decided to react to it. And I just want to thank you. I think it was one of the coolest moments ever.
Absolutely. Well, I completely agree with everything that you read out that I said, and I stand by it.
Yeah.
Stand by it for sure.
You're great,
so
honestly.
Keep on keeping on.
That's the plan. It's a bit harder nowadays. But,
well, at least you still have, because if that was 2021, you have kept on going.
I'm still here. I'm still doing what I can. Exactly.
Amazing.
So fantastic. So this is like, dream come true, really. And I'm gonna get into it, and we're gonna get to know Tommie. How did acting started for you? Was it always like a dream of yours, or did it come later in your life? Were you a theater kid, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I have always had some form of thing in me that wanted to have some connection in the arts, sometimes not even knowing necessarily what that was. I grew up kind of naturally singing in my neighborhood with friends and things like that, and at church. I eventually got into a sort of theater program and found out, this is something. This is very much kind of in alignment with what I want to do. And then obviously, those who may or may not be aware, but I also became a ballet dancer later years, in my teen years, and sort of crossed over between theater and dance and singing. And I think I just kind of did everything. And from a very early age, started doing my very first paid show was when I was 14. And so that was a very telling sign for me that I want to do more of this,
I love it. I love it so much. I love the fact that so many people I talk to, they are coming from theater, and I'm like, yes.
Listen, it was a training ground for me, an absolute training ground, and I still love theater. I haven't been on stage now for quite some time. But theater was always my sort of bread and butter, if you will. It's how I earned my living. And then as I gotten older, those transitions happened where I started to do other things. Still kept theater, but crossing over to TV and film and doing voice work and trying to see how all of that worked. I was kind of like a jack of all trades, I suppose. I wanted to try everything, and I still do. I love doing a bit of everything.
That's very fair, and also begs the question, do you miss theater, or is it something that you're longing for now?
It was funny. I was just having this very conversation the other day with a friend of mine, and just discussing about how theater has affected our lives and how we got started, and saying that I actually do miss theater. I miss being on stage. I miss the immediate reaction from an audience, and because it's like getting on a train and leaving the station. Once the train has left the station, you don't get off it until the train stops. It's you're on stage, for 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, depending on what show or what role you're doing. And it's a marathon, it's an absolute marathon. And you don't always know what's going to happen or what the audience will be like that night. Every night, every audience is different. Sometimes you might even make a mistake, but that's live theater. And in those cases, I have found that those are moments that sometimes the audience, believe it or not, find those moments very special, because they know that that probably doesn't happen every night, but they were able to witness something at that performance that doesn't happen for everybody. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
And also
100%.
just as a reminder that, we are human. We are
Yes.
human. We can make a mistake. We can slip up. And that's the thing between TV and film, is you never have that moment, because you shoot and shoot and shoot until you get it right. And then in the editing, it's all pieced together. And so you always end up with this quote unquote perfect performance.
Yeah.
And so you never get those moments. Only in live theater will you find that.
I'm sure my audience is tired of me asking this question from everyone, but I have to. As a
Sure.
theater kid myself,
Oh yeah.
I need to know, do you have a dream role on the stage that you didn't get to play yet, but you really, really want to?
Yes. The Golden Boy, which was a Sammy Davis Jr. role he did. It was also a musical, but I think they did a movie of it as well. Golden Boy, he was a boxer. I loved the idea of something like that. There's a few things that I would probably consider, especially as a play. Maybe doing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Yes.
Yes, new versions of that, and just, finding things that, you could take some of the classics and put a twist on. Do you know what I mean? And just having those challenging moments. And I feel like those are times in my life where I kind of feel like, oh, these challenges would be very nice if the opportunity arose. But to be fair, I think if someone was to present something to me, or came up with an idea, and I connected with it, I would even go down that route. I don't necessarily have to be something that I, have aspired to do. I remember once thinking about doing something Shakespeare like Othello, and it's a mammoth role. And I'm not necessarily by any means a Shakespearean actor, but something about that role, modernizing it, and making it work in a modern day, and rewriting the Shakespeare so that it becomes much more colloquial in this day and age, that people can understand. And that's not for me to go, why would you change Shakespeare? I don't want to do that. It's not about changing Shakespeare because we don't think it's good. It's, of course, Shakespeare is classic. It's amazing. But how about taking a Shakespeare classic, it's like we've seen it done with Romeo and Juliet, and giving it a modern day dialogue, so that people, new
Yes.
audiences who are not familiar with Shakespeare necessarily, still get the story and understand it, but from a different perspective, and something that maybe in a dialogue that they can relate more to, if that makes sense.
I don't know how big of a thing this was in the US, or around the world in general, but here in Europe, especially back in my home country, Hungary, and where the reimagination came from. I think it was French, maybe, but they basically made Romeo and Juliet into a musical.
Right,
and
right.
it became so popular, especially in my home country.
Right.
It became so popular, and it was
Right.
really, really fun, to be honest. And it was
Right.
with the songs and everything, people would pick it up, and it would become like this huge phenomenon. Like everyone
Right.
was all over it. Then later they tried to do my favorite play, which is A Midsummer's Night Dream. They tried to make that into a musical as well.
Right.
It wasn't as successful. I think it was
Right.
still fun,
Right.
but it just never picked up as well as Romeo and Juliet. But I like that twist
Right.
of like,
Yeah.
here's this very popular, very well-known play, and let's make
Yeah.
it into a musical. And I'm like,
Sure, sure,
yes,
sure, sure. And that happens a lot.
yes,
It does. They do take a lot of shows or plays, well-known plays, and restructure them and create a musical version of them. And some of them work extremely well, and some
yeah,
not so well.
yeah.
Not to say as a play.
I think we can agree on that. Yes, yes,
Yes,
like
absolutely,
absolutely,
absolutely.
yes,
But I appreciate the attempt and the trying. Sure.
yes, 100%. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Why not? If
Yeah.
there's an idea for it, go for it.
Absolutely. And I'm definitely not here to say for people not to do that. I'm saying by all means, whatever your creative flow is, come up with something, do it, and see how it works. Because if you don't do it, you never know.
I just said it like in a previous interview that I have to start the wall and I have to write down all the inspirational things that my guests are saying.
That's upset.
And then every time I just look there and I'm gonna be like, yes.
Yeah. Today I choose this one.
Exactly. I'm going to go by this. It works. Fantastic. A very intriguing question, I think, is what's the most dangerous thing about being good at becoming someone else?
Oh my goodness, what an interesting question. What's the most dangerous thing about being good
At becoming
at
someone else.
becoming someone else? I would say, in terms of becoming someone else, referring to a character,
Yes.
and what is dangerous about that is certainly as an existing character or someone that you might be familiar with in terms of that. I think there could be a danger in terms of, reproducing a version of that character that someone else has done and maybe trying to copy or mimic that. And I think the danger lies within that is that there will always be a comparison to something like that. And in order for that to be good, I would say that one has to take on that character with an authenticity of their self.
Yes.
You see what I mean? Because that is the only thing, and I say this a lot when it comes to doing work and expressing it to as an actor or a voice actor or whatever, is that how much can we bring ourselves to a role? And because of doing that, it means you solidify something that no one else can ever really replicate. Even if they try to copy it, they can't really fully replicate it because they don't know where the root of that character has come from. Do you see what I mean? So I can
Absolutely.
draw on my past experiences, which no one is up in here except for me.
Yes.
So all my past experiences I can pull like a file and go, I'm going to draw from that scenario from the time that when I was 12 years old. I'm going to take that element and bring that into my life, into this character, because I feel it could relate at this moment. No one else will be able to do exactly that because they don't have that file. Do you see what I mean? So
100%.
I think there is that element that can be a danger. If I've completely understood your question, I think that can be the danger, is to not let yourself be immersed in the character, and trying to, I think good will come from it if there's a level of authenticity behind it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
At the
Yes.
end of the day,
Yes.
as long as you have a bit of that, I think ultimately, listen, we're all going to be subject to criticism and scrutiny no matter what we do. We are never going to be everyone's favorite. We're never going to be liked by everyone. We as actors and creators are always going to be polarized in a way that, some people you will please, some people you won't.
Yes.
Some people may like your character of this game or this show or this movie, and some people may not like it. And you have to be okay. We don't go into the work to be liked. We go into the work for the craft of doing the work and creating.
I can't help but think, did it ever happen that you took something away from one of your characters and made it your own? Like either a personality trait, maybe the way they are talking or laughing. For example, I always pick up on other people's laugh and I start to mimic it, but it's very unconscious. So I'm not doing
Right.
it because I want to. It's just a thing that it's like, it just happens, especially if
Sure.
it's like a very, I don't know, like special laugh, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. Something
Uh,
infectious or whatever,
yes.
or
Yeah.
yeah.
And I can't help but wonder, like, did that ever happen to you that you just got so immersed in a character that something kind of stayed with you even after finishing the
Even
work itself?
after I've left it. I think there's sometimes there are roles that I have done, you know, maybe for instance, there's a character I just recently played in a TV show called The Rainmaker, and his name is Prince Thomas, and he owns this bar. And he's a little bit, I classify him as like a thug with a heart. But you know, he's got a sense of warmth about him, but at the same time, he's the kind of person you wouldn't want to cross.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there are elements about him that's not who I am, but taking away certain things. If I find myself wanting to talk to someone or make a point be known, my voice will drop. And I'll get a little more direct about something. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of go, I don't know if it's inherently part of me anyway, because I think I do that, but I also had a bit of that in that character as well. So you kind of go, you don't know quite where you stand. But at the end of the day, even if he's being nice, you kind of go, are you being nice? Are you being warm? I'm not sure. I can't read it fully. But you know, they're just little things. But I think sometimes when you have something that you stay with for a long time, like doing a theater show where you're doing 8 shows a week for a year or 6 months, that I find more likely to be something that sticks with you because of the length of time that you've done it. Do you know what I mean? You're doing the same show every night, 8 times a week for 6 months or a year. Do you know what I'm saying? And so that becomes ingrained to you. And even the physicality of certain things you might do with that character will inherently probably translate outside of the theater.
Yeah. I would think so as well. Or if someone can just leave all of it behind once it's all done, I think that's remarkable.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like
Yeah.
how do
To
you
let
do
it
that?
go. Some things are hard to let go of.
100%. Like, I don't know. I always find it very interesting that what can stay with you afterwards if you did something for a very long time. Like, you know, I don't know. I played Puck, which was my dream role for a very long time, and I took away from that character, which was a very tiny thing. And we very specifically made it up. So it's a bit of his thing or her thing in my case, which was when I got nervous, I started to play with my clothes.
Right.
And I started noticing that in real life, in my everyday life of like, you know, I got nervous and I started doing the same thing as I was doing on stage in character. And I was like, hold on a second. What's going on?
By association, yeah.
Yeah, it took so long to drop in. It took way too long to drop in.
Well, it becomes muscle memory. It becomes, you know what I mean? It becomes a muscle memory.
100%.
And a reflex that happens. You know, you do anything long enough, it's like, you know, you create a habit. 21 days, they say it takes to create a habit. And you do 21 days of constantly doing the same thing, and it becomes part of your cycle.
Tell me about a moment, either backstage, on set, or in the booth recording for something, where time just completely stopped existing because you got so immersed in the role that you were doing.
The first thing that comes to mind is DS1, Death Stranding, and Die-Hardman's confession at the end of DS1.
You know why they call me Die-Hardman.
Although this monologue has been a topic of conversation, even still to this day, it was probably one of the moments in my career where I completely felt immersed in that moment opposite Sam and spilling everything I had, because, you know, you have to remember, this guy has spent the majority of the game spilling lines and calling Sam, you know, constantly, and everything was slightly emotionless because he's military, he's matter of fact. He doesn't let his emotions get away with him. But this monologue was a moment for him to dive deep and express himself. And that journey from that monologue, everything else disappeared. Everything else disappeared during the course of this monologue, just focusing on Sam Porter Bridges, saying, all this information. And it reaches an emotional climax. It has this, it's this on a journey. It has a place where it needs to reach. It gets there, and then it has to come back again. And in order for me to do that, to be honest, when it reached its most emotional point, I had no idea. It wasn't planned that that's what was going to happen. It happened because I had lost myself in this delivery of what it was emotionally that I was trying to tell you. And, and that was in the moment, I just kind of went with it. I didn't stop and think, oh, I need to stop because this is happening. I don't want this to happen. I think we just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
We tell the story, and it just felt authentic. It felt like I'm telling you how I feel. I don't even care what my voice sounds like when it's breaking because I'm crying. I'm not here to be concerned about that because I don't think anybody in those situations ever would. I think it is what it is. And this is, me trying to be authentic in this moment. And so therefore, nothing else mattered in that moment except me telling this information to Sam. And I think that's probably one of the things that I've ever felt I got lost in.
That's quite beautiful, I have to say. Since we pivoted into Death Stranding, I have to ask, when you first read the script,
yes,
and it's Kojima, who's brilliant and fantastic, and we can give all the praise to him, really.
Sure.
How confused were you?
More than you know. It was probably one of the most confusing things I'd ever been given, and to the point where I never read the script from beginning to end because it just didn't work that way. I dealt with all the stuff that I was in. And so in sections, I would get stuff, but in between, I would be given information about things. And so I learned along the way what was happening in the story. But just as and to be fair, they would even say to me, it's complex. We understand if you don't fully get it, but we will tell you what it is. And maybe it will become clear. But I think it's a lot clearer when you watch it as a whole versus having to do it at the time. As long as I know what my connections are to certain people and what the scene for the cut scenes entails and what's happening, they will give me the information of what's happened that led up to this and what happens kind of after. So I know where certain things kind of fit in the puzzle. And that's enough information for me to do the best job that I can, but it was incredibly confusing. Incredibly confusing. Even now, there are things about it I don't understand.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, what about now? Do you like?
No. I have a I have a vague recollection now because years of time has passed. But there's certain things that I do remember, and I, for the better of myself, during lockdown, created a YouTube channel, and then I started doing a series called Joy to the Word, where in one of the second series, I dedicate to Death Stranding by reading all of the emails, and it's all broken down over, I think, like 10 episodes or something like that, and they're long, but also helps me to understand the story in that respect. So I felt that those things were good, but it's a hard one. It's a hard one.
It is. It's fantastic, but it's like, what?
Yeah, for sure.
There are definitely moments where you're like, oh, I think I got it. No,
yeah.
I don't.
No, I don't.
I
don't
don't.
get it. Yeah.
No.
Or I'll be like, sorry, could you say it one more time? Just tell me one more time.
So Die-Hardman spends so much of the story hiding behind a mask, not just literally, but also, I think, emotionally as well. What did the role itself teach you about, hiding behind a mask, what it costs to be a leader. What did the Lord? Today it's going so well. The role teach you. There you go.
What did it teach me about? I think we all have a mask
Yes.
that we kind of hide behind. Sometimes unknowingly have it, and some have it, specifically, purposefully. And I think with that, I have found during the course of DS1, certainly in Death Stranding, the first one, is he is hidden behind this mask for all of it, and until the end. And I think there's something about using it as a shield, as a sort of protective mechanism, in some ways that you just kind of you create a different persona with this mask on. You are this person, Die-Hardman. Everyone knows you as that. I could literally take this and go, yes, now I am him.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like putting on your armor to go into battle.
Mm-hmm.
It is the one thing that is, I suppose, reminiscent of everything that you stand for. And he's a military, he's a soldier. He is, he has, fought, and for all intents and purposes, according to him, if it hadn't been for Cliff, he probably would be dead, in the battles. He's saying that he brought my sorry ass back home every time, And I think in some ways he kind of feels like a fraud in some ways. Do you know what I mean? Just like, he did what he set out to do. He's done all the fighting. He did the things, but I think somewhere deep inside, there's remorse for things that he has done, and even though I think he is incredibly strong and stoic and all of those things, he's still human. He's still human. He still has a vulnerable side, but suppressed.
Yeah.
Until it has to come out.
Yeah.
It just has to.
Yeah, definitely. Was it harder to get back into the role in Death Stranding 2? Was it a much easier time to slide back in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little bit of both. It was easy because I knew who the character was, but it was difficult in some respects because the character wasn't as, in any way, shape, or form, as stoic and militant as he was in DS1. Here, he's kind of, he's free now. He's kind of let himself just be who he is, take me or leave me. I've shed that skin. I'm now living my best life, doing what I want to do in my most free way. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think, and it was a much more fun journey in DS2. A much more fun. Like so I love that he had that arc. I love the arc he had in DS1, but even more so the fact of how he comes back in DS2, everything that he does, and also he gets to go back to his passion, his battle mode. Do you know what I mean? He gets to finally get back behind the weapons and go, come on, let's tear some shit up. And I think for people to see that moment, sorry, I hope that's for people who haven't be a spoiler, but
I will put it out, spoiler alert.
Yeah. But for him to finally go, okay, battle mode, and he gets himself strapped in, and he gets Charlie open and all that, and he gets the gun, and he's like, all right, ready to give him hell? Let's go. And he's off, and he's like, okay, that's the side that people didn't get to see of him in DS. We only heard about it a little bit, so it was nice to have that moment where people could see a different side to him. I think in DS2 you see a completely different side to Die-Hardman, and obviously the moment he returns is just, for me, I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. This has got to be one of the best returns ever because it's unexpected. No one will ever guess that this was going to happen. And for me, I was like, yeah, good God, good God.
It's so fun. Oh my God, I love that so much. And but did you know after that Stranding one, was there already like a bit of a talk of like, yeah, we're gonna do a second one, or did it come much later?
Oh, it came later. It came later. I don't think I was ever under the impression necessarily that my character would return or that my character or that there would be a DS2. I did DS1 and just kind of thought, well, that's the game. I've done it. How wonderful to have had that experience. Now let's move on. And then when I was approached about it, I got a message from Hideo, and he was telling me what he wanted to do. And this was well before we even started working on DS2. So there was a lot of time in between, but it was still well before it actually got underway.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'd known for a long time that that his intention was to bring me back. And in what capacity, it wasn't fully. He kind of touched on certain things. He wanted to let him have a moment. He wanted to bring him back unexpectedly and just kind of really let the people have it, which I felt like he did. And, and for all intents and purposes, I think it's also one of those things where it was a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
It was like, I think people were having their what the hell moment when it happened. Do you know what I mean? And I love that.
Yeah.
And I think, but my thing is, if people really understood what he was trying to do, you would understand why this is there.
Yeah.
Kojima does not put anything in just for the sake of doing it. There is a reason for it, you know? And if you've been paying close enough attention or thinking a little bit deeper about it, you'll understand that there was a reason in what he was trying to say with this dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it basically was a middle finger up to APAS in that respect, about what AI can't do. And the one thing it can't do, it cannot replicate the human experience in any way, shape, or form, be it joy, the ability to dance, to laugh and to cry. You can do all the things you want, but the human experience comes from the soul. And AI does not have a soul.
Nope. Never will.
No soul, no goal.
Yeah. That's going on my imaginary wall.
Yeah.
Just gonna also put that there. It's
no soul, no goal. Yeah.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know where I saw this, but someone put it very well. Maybe it was on Threads or Instagram, that working with Kojima feels almost like entering someone else's dream, which I think it's kind of brilliant way of putting it.
Fantastic.
So I'm really interested what you're going to say. What was the strangest direction he ever gave you that worked somehow perfectly?
I think there were, maybe a couple of little tiny things that maybe I didn't necessarily understand in the course of doing them, but seeing them, in context, I kind of go, oh, now I understand what you mean. But to be fair, I think he was always very clear about what he wanted.
Okay.
And so if I felt confused by anything, it was always confusion about understanding what was happening in the story.
Okay.
But there was little things like, I think in DS2, I think where DHV Magellan goes underwater, but I also have to kind of be, because I can't repatriate, I don't have any of that power. I have to literally hold my breath. And so I just think it was funny that when they're submerging, that you see Die-Hardman strapped in, you know what I mean? And sort of holding his breath, but everyone else is just kind of like, in their state. Yeah. So little things like that. But I think he's always been pretty clear. And that's an amazing analogy of what someone said about working with Kojima is like, entering his dreams or whatever. That's and it's true because he's so creative.
Yeah.
He's so creative. And in order, I always said I wish I could be inside his head to see what's going on and how that
Right?
all works. Yeah, yeah. It must be amazing. I'd love to sit there with a bag of popcorn and just watch what's going on, because some of the stuff. I mean, his concepts and things that how things work and what his visions are pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
incredible.
definitely. I picked up his book, The Creative Gene.
Hmm.
Man, like honestly, I when I first started reading it, I was like, I'm not sure if I understand everything correctly, but this seems
Right.
like so essential to
Yes.
maybe be even more creative
Right.
than
Right. Right. Right.
you are.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty brilliant. I still don't know if I understood everything, but I think
Yeah.
it's a fantastic book and highly recommend it to everyone
Yeah.
to pick it up, because I think with that you can get a little peek into his head of like
Into it. Yeah. Yeah.
what's happening, what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was also interesting about doing a little bit of the documentary that's on Disney Plus,
Yes.
which was good
Yeah.
because I think they elaborate a lot more than most people probably knew about him and his, his upbringing and his fascination with films and all of that sort of stuff and his creative process
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Let's imagine that I am thrown out of this chair, and one of your characters that you played sits down to talk to you on the podcast. Who would you want that character to be?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
I know.
That's a
That's
hard
why I
one.
love it.
You know, there's Jacob Kane from Gotham Knights. There's the voice of the court. There's Lear from Guild Wars. Oh my God, that's a difficult one. Who would I choose? Die-Hardman, of course. I'm gonna go with Die-Hardman because I
Okay.
love him. I love him. So you get knocked out. He sits down
Yes.
in the chair, and so he's going to ask me the questions. Or is that was that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And how I feel about that?
Yes.
To me, it'd be like if he sat down in the mask, it's like looking to me, that would be like equivalent of looking at Darth Vader. If he's gonna be dead here, I'd be like, okay, listen, yeah, whatever you say goes.
I love it.
He'd be like that. Tommie Earl Jenkins, this is Die-Hardman. Today, I'd like to know everything about you. Let's start from the beginning. I'd be like, yes, sir. Okay.
Oh my God. So either I'm going to draw this and make this into a meme, or I need someone in the audience to draw this of you sitting there and Die-Hardman sitting on my
Yeah,
face.
yeah. Tommie Earl Jenkins, this is your life.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it so much. All right. Excellent. All right. We are on to the next part of our little talk. Your fans were very active, thankfully. I always love that on Instagram, and I shared that you're going to come on. And I chose a few questions that they asked to ask you. So the very first one is Brianna Portnoy. I'm sorry if I mispronounce anyone's name. I'm horrible at pronouncing things. But here we go. Brianna Portnoy, what is your favorite moment on The Rainmaker?
I would say probably one of my favorite moments is having a chat with Bruiser in the bar. And if you've seen the series, it's kind of a brother sister kind of conversation that we had. It's that one, and then there's a great conversation where I have to kind of speak to Rudy. He wants to go and help this young girl, and I have to give him all these things to think about. And it's almost like how a father would really speak to his teenage son, and it's a life lesson kind of moment. So hopefully, Brianna, if you remember those scenes, you know exactly which ones I'm talking about. So
Lovely.
I think it's when Lana Priya, who plays Bruiser, walks away, and I say to her at the end of the conversation, I love you, Bruiser, and she just keeps walking. But yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
I love that. Excellent. Rebecca Washington is next. She's asking, Tommie, you have a beautiful singing voice. would you like to do singing in video games?
Yes, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. And I think I did do a little bit of that in DS2.
Yes.
Uh,
Maybe Rebecca hasn't played in yet, so
yeah, so maybe that's
maybe. There you go. You
yeah.
pick up Death Stranding too.
Yeah. Oops.
Oopsie. Spoiler.
Yeah. But to answer the question, we'll edit that out. Yes,
Yeah.
I'd love to do some singing in video games.
Excellent. There you go, Rebecca. That's the
Yeah.
answer. We didn't talk about anything else before.
Yeah.
All right, Big Mac Melly. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. I'm so sorry. The question is, what are the chances we get an album from you anytime in the future?
I can't say because the future can be quite a distance away.
True.
You know, it can be in the next hour, or it can be, you know, months or years. I have no idea. I would love the opportunity if it arose, but I could not sit here and definitively say what are the chances of getting an album in the future. I mean, and listen, everything is possible. I'll go with that and play the positive on it. Everything is possible. So you never know. You never know. I could be making an announcement, you know, in 6 months' time saying, listen, I've got an album that's coming out. Go out and get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like there's something there of like,
Yeah, like there was a hidden
it's a hidden
there's an
maybe
Easter egg there somewhere.
Easter. Yeah, maybe it's already coming.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Oh,
Only time will tell.
exactly.
Fantastic. All right,
But thanks for wanting it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, your singing is insanely good. And I mean, I love singing. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but singing
yeah,
is
I
just the
love it,
best. Okay, I can pronounce this name. This is excellent. You make my life easier. Screaming Jigsaw Piece. Love it.
Love it.
Brilliant. I really wonder, how was the whole experience of being Ubercorn in Go Jetters? I've been a huge fan of Go Jetters since I was 10 years old, and what you've acted in is amazing.
Oh, how wonderful. Listen, Ubercorn is very close to my heart. Listen, he is the funkiest disco-loving unicorn on the planet. So thank you for enjoying him. Thank you for supporting him. Funny enough, I did some stuff recently dealing with him. So keep an eye out because he's going to be making a return soon in the near future. But it was wonderful. I will always have a moment where I feel like that is definitely a moment for me to always remember and feel grateful for that role and grateful for what it has taught young kids, you know?
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's very educational as well.
Yes. That's always good when there's like that
sure.
undertone in it. That's definitely always a plus. And the last fan question that I chose, I finished Death Stranding 2 today. Such a masterpiece. Was the good God part in your dance performance of BB's team improvised or part of the script? I love that whole performance.
Oh, well, to be honest with you, the good God came when I was in the studio recording the song, and I was working with Ludwig, and we were thinking about things that we can add to the song that makes it a little bit more funky and this, that, and the other. And it was him who actually suggested, you know, what if we did something like a good God? I said, you mean like James Brown kind of thing? You know, Godfather of the Father of Soul. He was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see how that works. And it happened, and we laughed. And at the same time, we thought, yeah, let's just do it. Good God, you know. And it just was. It was it. It was it. And it was in. It was in.
And we arrived to the game. My favorite part.
Oh.
And I have decided that we're going to play rapid fire. It's very, very easy. It sounds terrifying, but it's very easy. I'm going to give you 2 choices, and you have to pick one, but as quickly as possible.
Okay.
That's the hard part about it.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
try not to think, just whatever first vibes with you, just pick that.
I'm
All
just going to go with it. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Theater or cinema?
Theater.
Cinema or streaming?
Cinema.
TV shows or movies?
TV shows.
Movies or video games?
Video games.
Death Stranding 1 or Death Stranding 2?
Death Stranding 2.
Recording in a professional studio or recording from a home booth?
Professional studio.
One take perfection or experimenting with multiple versions?
Experimenting with multiple versions.
Voicing a hero or voicing a villain?
Villain.
Creating a voice from scratch or refining a director's vision?
Ooh. Creating a voice from scratch.
Shakespearean drama or modern realism?
Modern realism.
Memorizing lines early or learning them through rehearsal?
Memorizing lines early.
Same. Coffee before recording or tea before recording?
Coffee.
Yes. Total silence to prepare or music to get into the zone?
Music to get into the zone.
Character voice first or character backstory first?
Character backstory.
Sci-fi universe or fantasy kingdom?
Fantasy Kingdom.
Playing the wise mentor or the unpredictable rogue?
Ooh, the unpredictable rogue.
Yes. Standing ovation or hearing fans quote your character back to you?
Hearing fans quote your character back to you.
That is something special, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
done. You were very quick, I have to say.
It was hard because some of those I really wanted to say the other one, but it came out the other way, you know? So this is what happens in rapid fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we like it like that. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun. All right, fantastic. I have to ask, maybe did you maybe prepare that joke for me?
I did. You know, I thought about 3 little ones. that okay.
Yes.
What about this? What did the triangle say to the circle?
I don't know what.
You're pointless. You're pointless. Okay. All right.
Okay.
What about this? Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer?
I don't know.
She kept running away from the ball.
It's so obvious as well.
And my last one
Yes.
is, what do lawyers wear to court?
Suits.
What do lawyers wear to court?
Suits, I would say. No, I don't know.
How about lawsuits? That's it. I'm here
Love
all
it.
week. I'm out. Thank you for coming.
Like, oh, you prepared 3. I'm in heaven. This is absolutely the best time ever. I did prepare one for you as well, just
Okay,
to
please.
have an exchange.
Please.
How did the barber win the race?
He cut ahead.
He knew a shotgun.
Ba-dum. Ba-dum.
It's not as good as yours.
No, but it was a good one. It was definitely a dad joke.
Yes, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. That is all that matters, for sure.
No one ever will convince me that dad jokes are not funny. They are brilliant. The best,
I think
And-
everyone secretly loves dad jokes.
right? That's
Yeah.
what I think as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can agree on that. All right. This was so much fun. But
Oh.
before I let you go, there's one question that I always leave to the end. What is something that you worked on that might be coming out this year and you can actually say something about it? I know NDAs are strict, so
The thing is, there is something coming out, but I don't know if it's coming out. I presume it's coming out maybe later this year, which is a film that I did called Red Ink. That takes place in a newsroom over a day's period, dealing with the supernatural, and it's kind of a lot of done in one shots. Very interesting, and I play an editor in it. 19, I want to say it's 1949, I think it was, is the year in which it takes place.
oh,
Yeah. So if you're interested, Google Red Ink, and it should come up. Red Ink. And
it's
red ink does symbolize something else.
you guys heard it, Red Ink. You can look forward to that this year, and everything else. Please follow Tommie. You're on Instagram, if I am not mistaken.
That I'm on Blue Sky,
Blue Sky?
obviously Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, find me anywhere. Mainly Instagram is probably the best bet, or TikTok. There's some things going on over there. So
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put all your links in the description, and
Right.
maybe can people meet you at a Comic-Con that it's coming up,
Uh,
or
possibly if something comes up, I will always post about it and let people know when I'm usually pretty good about stuff like that, and give a nice bit of warning. So just best way is always to find out on my socials.
can wait to see you in even more things, and whether it's going to be video games or movies or TV, it's always going to be exciting. And I might just drop another email and be like, are you ready for round 2?
Yeah.
We can just do an hour long of just dad
Yeah,
jokes.
absolutely. Yeah. Why not? Why not?
It will be fun for
Yeah,
me.
bring a cocktail. Yeah.
Yes. I should do a show where both me and the guest is just drinking cocktails, and we see how we're going to do at the end.
Yeah. See how you end up. Yeah.
That's a new idea. Just popped
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Tommie, for coming on.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for all your questions, everyone.
It was so much fun. And I hopefully see you again soon-ish. And we will have new things to talk about.
Absolutely.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and bye-bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you are looking forward to the next one. I can promise you that there will be even more amazing guests coming on, and I just can't wait to share that with you. And just to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and like and comment. Stay in the loop. Stay in the loop. Stay with me. And there are other things coming, are already on the way. We'll find out soon. See you again next time.